Are y'all done? Are y'all done? Are you done? This dropped yesterday as well. Couldn't cover it yesterday. School and work. Away from the studio, but are y'all done? Man, stop talking to my boy. Stop talking about my boy like he a hoe or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, comment, subscribe, share this with somebody I know they enjoy just like you did. Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? How's your mama? How's your family? Come on, man. Stop talking to my boy like he a hoe or something. Like, come on, man. When he stepped up against Shavkat and saved the card, on short notice, y'all said, well, but I mean, what does he really have to lose? He kind of said it himself, to be fair. But what does he have to lose? I mean, if he loses it, it's just short notice. It's the number one contender anyways. He'll be fine if he loses. As if he didn't put his undefeated record on the line and get somebody else's undefeated record on the line. Like, a loss is a setback regardless of the context. A loss is a setback regardless. But anyways, I don't know why I envisioned those guys. I don't know why I envisioned those people who said that to sound like that, but that's how I envisioned them. I mean, it's all right. I mean, it's just all talk. Okay. How about I save the card? Well, we push it back because I want to make weight. We ain't doing no catch weight. We want it to count for 170 rankings. But how about I save the day and I fight a guy that's ranked, 6 spots behind me? I fight a guy who's 6 spots behind me, also dangerous on a 10-fight KO streak, has KO'd every single opponent in the UFC. Guys who are notoriously durable, like Li Jingliang, who has never been KO'd in his UFC career. Huh? How about I go fight him? The dark horse of the division. The most dangerous striker in the division. I said it. Most dangerous striker he has that death touch. I've been saying this forever, before y'all were even on it, back when he was fighting Trevin Giles. This guy has the death touch. The death touch. It doesn't take much. He can graze you. It take a couple knuckles. The death touch. A dangerous fight for almost anybody in the welterweight division. Ian Gary said, I got it. Don't worry about it. I got it. I got it, man. Don't trip. I got it. Look at all these KOs. Look at all that. I got it, though. Don't worry about it. Are y'all done? Put some respect on Ian Machado Gary. Put some respect on it, man. Because in the cage, he has no fear. He fears no one. He ain't worried about no one. And in the cage, I can't really defend him that much. When y'all look at his MVP performance, I can say he knows how to win. I can say he knows how to win. I can say that. I can say he's worried about the win. But MVP fight, yeah, he got outstruck. It was very alarming. His jiu-jitsu and his wrestling, there are multiple times he should have had a submission in there. Didn't really get it. He's trying to go rear naked choke here instead of going palm to palm. Little mistakes like that. And it's a lot of almost. Shavkat, very tentative in that fight. Getting outstruck by Shavkat at range. We thought Shavkat would get in his face and outstrike him. Bro, and have to clinch Ian Gary. Shavkat was at range, outboxing Ian Gary. Looked faster than Ian Gary. Ian Gary was causing some scrambles, though. Had a moment on the ground. Almost got a submission in. But it's an almost. I can't keep hyping people up off of an almost. I see progression. And that's what you want to see. I see progression in the guy. Ian Gary is one of my dudes, by the way. But I can't keep rewarding guys off of almost. And this is a big fight. This is a huge fight. A fight that I thought I dreaded. If you ever talked to me about it, I dreaded this fight. I really, really dreaded this fight. I'm going to be honest. And this is a fight I wanted to see whenever it was closer for a title. Not this far back in the rankings. Take these off because my head too big and it's squeezing the side of my temple. It hurt. This is a fight that I dread. But it's super interesting. We all know Ian Gary's tough. He's been cracked before. He's taken shots well. He's never been cracked by a Carlos Prates level of power, the death touch. He's never felt a death touch ever in his career. Carlos Prates is a better striker. Is the best pure striker that Ian Gary has fought in the UFC. Jeff Neal's a really good boxer. That's why I think Carlos Prates versus Jeff Neal, I really want to see that fight. Oh, I really want to see that fight because we're going to learn a lot. Because Jeff Neal can take fights long. He's super tough. He can go through the fire. He can take fights longer, put pressure. He also is really strong. But we didn't get that. Jeff Neal's a really good striker. But all around, kicks, knees, the Muay Thai, the elbows, the punches, and the power. This is the best and most dangerous striker that he's ever faced. And we've been seeing Ian Gary get cracked, MVP. Cracked, Shavkat. Carlos is faster than all those guys, hit harder than all those guys. But the one question mark is, what happens when fights go long? What happens when somebody's in on his hips? I don't look at Ian Gary as this crazy takedown guy. He's a good scrambler, good BJJ, good at making things happen, creating scrambles, jumping on situations. But as far as shooting a double leg, a single leg, I don't know. So how much can Ian really test Carlos? On the mat, Ian can very, very well test Carlos. How successful will he be at getting it to the mat, though? Carlos is really good at range as well. Carlos is wild. Then the clinch. Maybe Ian works in the clinch and works a foot sweep or takes his back. Or in the clinch, you can't really play too much in the clinch with Carlos. Vicious knees to the body. Vicious elbows in the clinch. This is a scary fight for both men. If you're an Ian Gary fan, this is a scary fight. You should be worried. If you're a Carlos Prates fan, this is a scary fight. You should be worried. I think what makes it bad is everyone knows in this fight, Ian's going to have to grapple. Ian's going to have to grapple. Ian's going to have to grapple. He is. And Ian's he's a thinker's man. He's not the best striker in the division. He's not the best grappler in the division. Doesn't have the best BJJ. Doesn't have the best wrestling. Doesn't have the best speed. Doesn't have the best punch power. But he's the thinker's man in there. He's thinking. He uses his IQ to get past these fights. He's a thinker's man in there. And at times in those early rounds, we could see Ian Gary be low output, trying to get his range, being a bit hesitant, not pushing the pace, until later on in the fight to where it's like, damn, why haven't you been doing this? What is there to make me believe he's not going to fight that exact same way against Carlos Prates, a guy who has the most power he's ever went against, speed, length, the most dangerous strikers ever went against? What is there for me to say that he's not going to fight that exact same way and be very low risk, and whenever he does take a risk, very calculated risk, to try to get Carlos into those third, I don't know if it's a 5-round fight. I should have. Oh, it's a main event. To get Carlos to those third, fourth, and fifth rounds. And on one end, that kind of makes sense. But if you're not making Carlos work and he's just striking, because like I said, I don't like clinch positions unless you're working immediately off the clinch positions, getting body locks. But I don't like those either because Carlos Prates touches people, he grazes people, and they go down. They go down, dude. They go down. At range, it's not going to be good. So, because at range, Carlos is probably going to pick Ian apart. So we probably need Ian in on hips. We probably need Ian in close. And that's danger. For 25 minutes. If Carlos, I'm telling you right now, if Carlos doesn't gas, isn't shown to fatigue, because those cigarettes and all the alcohol, it's funny now until you're wheezing later in fights, or you're 35 and you just ain't got it no more because you ain't take care of your body. Ask Conor McGregor how fun that is. Conor McGregor didn't even start going too crazy until he got popping. Carlos Prates is 31 years old. It's safe to believe that he's been living this lifestyle for like 15 of those 31 years. I'm scared. This is the Ian Gary. I'm an Ian Gary fan. I'm a Carlos Prates fan too, but I'm more of an Ian Gary fan. And this is scary. This is scary for me. This is scary for me. And I want to say, I don't know who I'm leaning. The purpose of this video is for me to talk about how Ian He's a man of his word. He's not scared of anybody. He wants to fight everybody. How he's a real fighter. Props to Carlos Prates as well. This ain't no easy fight to take. This ain't no easy fight to take. Jeff Neal, you knew Jeff Neal was going to box. He's going to be shorter. He was going to be less long, obviously. And he was just going to have to box. And he was going to have to make things scrappy, make it dirty, and maybe hold you against the fence. Now you're facing Ian Gary, a guy who's taller than you, I believe. Not as long in the arms, but taller than you, has a long frame, and will be in on your hips, and will he's going to try to work in that BJJ, that shoot-to-box work has been translating into his game. A thinker's man in there. A different style of fight. This is going to be more of tit for tat, where Jeff Neal is going to be a brawl. So props to Carlos Prates as well for taking this fight. But it's like, dude, as an Ian Gary fan, it's like, it's going to be tough for 5 rounds to get in these positions, these favorable positions, which is going to be on the mat. Because on the feet, no position is favorable for him. I like Ian. He's a thinker's man in there. I'm not talking as if he's like not a bad striker. But Carlos Prates has a power that you have to respect, has a speed, a deceptive speed that you have to respect, and he's loose in there. He's throwing shots from different angles that you're not really expecting. And Ian is a guy who's a thinker's man in there. Like I said, he's collecting data those first few rounds. He's trying to get range. While Carlos is going to march, regardless. And he's going to have to rely on things like Carlos maybe overextending. And then Ian creating a scramble. But then, okay, let's say he gets Carlos down to the ground. If he doesn't sub Carlos, we're back on the feet for the next round. So he's going to have to rely on Carlos gassing. And yeah, maybe that's the case, but I don't like that being what I rely on when I haven't had any proof. Like, okay, certain guys like Conor McGregor, we've seen them gas as rounds go on. So we have proof that they're going to gas. We don't know. Remember when Sean O'Malley was starching everybody and we're like, okay, yeah, he looks great, but what happens when he fights Cheeto Vera? Cheeto, a tough guy in Cheeto. What's going to happen? Is he going to gas as the fight goes on? The answer was no. That's not the case with everybody. The answer was no. Sean O'Malley's not going to gas in a striking match. He gassed in a Marab, but that was wrestling. And Ian's going to try to wrestle. I just don't know how good Ian's wrestling is. I don't know how good his single leg is, his double leg is. I know he's getting a clinch. I know he can create scramble. I know he can sweep. I know he can trip. I'm scared. Let me know in the comments who y'all got winning this fight. I just wanted to go on a rant here. Probably leave it unedited. Like, comment, subscribe, share this with somebody I know they enjoy just like you did. Get in them comments, man. Bets dropping tomorrow. You ain't got to go home. You got to get up out of here, man, and eat.